Hey Juan, how's it going? Testing 1, 2. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I wonder if they can hear.
Yeah. Ooh, I can hear echo there.
Oh, I have an echo.
Yeah, it's playing back what we
Let me try.
it back. Do it.
Let me try with my headphones.
Are you on speakers?
I had my earbuds out, but now I've got them plugged in. I'm gonna make sure they can still hear me and you. Can you guys hear both of us? I said it sounds good, I think.
Wait a minute. I've probably got your watch page. That's what it is. I didn't mute your watch page. No wonder. Okay. Yeah, it sounds good here.
They should be able to hear you. They heard my Hangouts bling.
Yeah, they can hear me. Jason said he said TV. So, hello, guys in chat.
Hello. So, what we were going to talk about for a second was how they fake this international dateline in the Ring of Fire. So the pictures on the screen, one of them, the big one, is one that Sandra sent to me showing the storms that were rolling through a few days ago. And when I started looking at it, I realized there's this blatant line down the middle of it. The water is two different colors. So I wanted to expose this crap.
Yeah, that fake map. That projection of this map does not exist.
Exactly.
Yeah, they move it around now and then, don't they? When they need certain images shown in that part of the world, and it fakes the globe. You know, you look at those. That's where the east and west connect back together again on a globe, but it wraps around. But in reality, it doesn't. In reality, the real map is the one at the bottom left there, the one with our grid over it. That's the reality of what we're looking at.
Yep.
And as you highlighted in the bottom right image one, you know, that international dateline, it's the blatant split of the map right there. That's where they split the map and made it into a globe and connected it back up there to fake the globe.
Here, let me make that one a bit bigger for just a second. I can just open it up a bit and take a good look at it there. So these are the two cruises that was in one of our videos. And on this map, there's the times are actually on there for what time it is and what day it is in these areas. And so even when you look at that, the times or the days, it's completely skewed, and even some of them being right next to each other still won't light up at the same time that would make it okay to be a globe or the AE map or many of these other maps that, you know, people are looking at.
Yeah, they're easy to fake if you control all the shipping and all the flights, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how they fake it. They can get away with it with all them islands, like you've mentioned when it was in the back end of our 12 Gates video, wasn't it, where you went through it a bit more?
Yep, that's when it was. Yep, so you can see it in the 12 Gates video also. This is just kind of a breakdown of the entire international dateline area and how they fake the Ring of Fire. You know, they have double names for a lot of these places.
Yeah, another thing, everyone thinks that everything we've seen is down in Antarctica. But if you look at our grid on the map we're using with a grid on, Antarctica's too far south for anyone to realistically get anywhere near. You'll never get there. But if you look at the East Gates, it's only a few thousand mile northeast of New Zealand, basically. We're just past that black line. You know, go for a few thousand mile past that black line, you're going to see something very special, which they don't want you to see.
Because I can't see my cursor.
It's okay. We've got the map on screen anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, So as far as we can tell, this map seems to work with everything.
Yeah, we've worked out how the fakery flights going east to west and west to east. They've actually got hidden flight routes in the north if no one's watched that particular video of ours before. And you can see where Amelia Earhart was heading towards when she went past Australia going east, slightly east-northeast. And then she went missing before she got to these three gates areas. Now them gates there, they're referenced in scripture, the Book of Enoch and quite a lot of other scriptures. Strangely, these are from the Nazca lines. So, people should be saying, how can Enoch be referencing these locations, this part of the grid off the Nazca lines? It doesn't make sense, but it makes a lot of sense. They're all describing the same thing, these eastern gates, or any gates. So yeah, that's where forget the south. Look how far south you would have to go across ice and God knows what else is down there to get to the gates in the south. Way too far. Same with the west gates. Same with the north. Too far. You're looking at 12,000 miles plus there, easy. But the ones in the east, they're the ones easily accessible when you look at the location of them. Let's see now. A few thousand miles east of New Zealand, you're going to see something very special.
Yeah, because
if not, then that debunks our work. So,
well, I mentioned that each square of the map is actually around 3,000 miles. So
yeah,
it may look small, but there is so much distance between these areas.
Yeah, and that's best estimate on my behalf. About 3,100 miles I put each square on that grid.
Yep.
Going by their own circumference of the globe, it could even be bigger. Or, well, we know that the landmass has to be larger. We're not saying there's an edge. We're just saying this is to the edge of our realm, and pretty much sure it goes well beyond that as well. The landmass is. Jason said in the chat, easily accessible, 3,000 miles. No problem. Get the canoes out, lads. But yeah, that's what I would be looking. That's the most easy accessible one when you look at the rest. They're just way too far. But yeah, look how close that is. East is where it's at, guys. All eyes should be looking east. The mine south, the mine icebreakers to. I mean, if you got an icebreaker to get to Antarctica, you got 7,000-8,000 mile across terrain. God knows what kind of terrain there just before you can get anywhere. That's after purchasing an icebreaker. So that exploration's gone out the window. Going north, same again. I would imagine icebreaker material up past Greenland before you're going to see anything. But yeah, west, no idea. But we don't know what's out beyond Hawaii, do we? We would be guessing.
Yeah, there's some islands and stuff, but we don't know about further.
Yeah, same again. There's a big distance between Hawaii and where the gate locations would be on this grid going west.
Because again, if you look here, they've skewed this. They've cut it. That international date line is actually the end of the realm on the western side. I looked up like these cruises. It's a perfect example. Why the hell do you pay for a Polynesian cruise that starts in New Zealand, travels only around New Zealand, up around Australia, goes out to a few little islands very close to New Zealand, and then return to New Zealand? Why wouldn't you go visit all the Polynesian islands? Then when you come from California, why do they do roundabouts of all the Hawaiian islands, then head down along the international date line, staying on our side of it at all times, visit a couple islands, and then head back east to go back to California? Why don't they take a cruise from California to New Zealand, or New Zealand to California? Why doesn't that happen if they're already going to spend 30 days on the ocean? Which, by the way, these cruises take 30 days a piece and cost, I think it was around $14,000 to $20,000 per person.
Yeah, that's the incentive to put you off, isn't it? The price. I've noticed that any of these locations that you look into, whether it be aircraft or by boat, It's a very pricey business to get there. And as you can see there, you're never going to get to where you think you're going.
Right.
It just take you on a circle jerk. It is, isn't it? The circle jerk and back. You are here, but you're not really. Oh, look, you're over in the west now. No, you're not. West's over the other side of the world in real life.
Yep.
Now, there's another thing, you know, people say don't push models. We aren't actively pushing the model we're working with for that very reason. Just so, you know, people, we know what it was like with the EMAP. We got attached to the EMAP, and then when you do your research, you figure out it doesn't work, so you move on, which is what we did. That was before I met one. You know, one moved on from the EMAP, and so did I before we even met, carrying on doing this work. But you have to, this is the kind of research that does need doing. You know, we can rule places out, we can look at interesting places that have anomalies, and we can show people the areas that they should be looking at. This is why you do this kind of research. So, you know, that's, I would call that a positive. There's a lot of hysteria going on. Oh, don't get into models and this, that, and the other. But sorry, but you've got to look at them and work out how it's working. You know, I would not have known the aircraft had hidden flights in the north had I not started doing my own research. I don't know if anyone else has ever noticed them either. You know, has anyone on the chat or even you one? Have you noticed? Did you know there was hidden flight routes in the north?
No, I did not until you found it.
Yeah, so you know, it pays to look, doesn't it? It pays to do research and really look at what's going on here. And it's easy research to do. You know, we're just using their own tools against them. Everything they've got trying to fake this globe it's got glitches, it's got problems, it's got things that don't work, and that's what we're finding. It's important, and like I said, you know, going north, west, and south are the three lot furthest distances away from any landmass. But going east is the easy one. And forget Antarctica, go east. You don't even need an icebreaker. So there's a big cost-saving exercise.
So there are maps up. So tell them the hidden flight routes, where they went. It was above Greenland, right?
Yeah. Say one was taken off from Australia on the map you see on the screen now. They're saying they're flying to the right and coming into the map from the left, you know, basically going around the globe, which we know is bullshit. What they're really doing is that they fly, say, from Australia to Alaska now. What they're really doing is flying east a little bit, and then they'll fly north, and then they'll go northwest over the top of Russia, over the top of Greenland, and then they start coming down over Alaska and then into the States or wherever they're going. That's the only way they can do it, and vice versa. Same for the west coast of America. If they want to get to the east, over in the east, they have to do the same trip going east. If anything going east is really on from the States, from the west coast of America, so they would have to fly west a little bit just to look on radar like it's going west to go east. Then it would go up over Alaska, same again, over Greenland, come down over Russia, China, and you're over in the east. You know, you can go on my channel. In case you don't know who's talking, this is FPV Angel. Go on my channel, and you'll see one there, the hidden flight routes in the north. We've captured them doing it on the Flight Radar 24. And you can see any flights going west to east or east to west, the data is being tampered with. Any that's flying from Europe, say, to America, that data is not tampered with. It's a straight track of data. No gaps in it, no nothing. Yeah, all the ones they're faking, you can see where it's been interfered with. We've highlighted that before, and Chris F.E. Jackson wanted us to do a hangout with that. I think we will, because he noticed things going on with those flights as well. So at some point in the future, we'll get a hangout with Chris F.E. Jackson, and we'll see what information he's been collating about it.
Yep.
Other information on screen. Scripturally, the gates in the north, south, east, and west. You can see them clearly there.
Yep.
Now, the 8x8 grid in the middle there, if you look around these dots, you can see there's 24 dots there going around, surrounding the center. That's your 24 elders from Scripture. There's 8 there. If you look at it, you'll notice there's 8 with lines going to the center. Now, I don't know, I'm not sure if it means one's actually spoke about those before, but they seem to me, when you look at each one, it's connected to something that's got another three that's not connected to anything. Now, them lines going back down to the center, in my opinion now, these are lava tubes, because all these dots are creating radioactive lava, basically. They're all it's a running cycle. These are particle accelerators, and by design, they are creating nuclear material, radioactive lava, and it has to have a cycle where it disposes of it. So we call these the primary eight, the ones with the eight there with the lines going to the centre. And I think them lines are tubes that slope down to take away the radioactive waste. And of course, then the centre there is obviously the lake of fire, and it gets distributed wherever it's sending it all to. A lot of it seems to be going out towards Hawaii and becoming landmass or sand, depending where it ends up.
South America.
Yeah, there's one at South America, so that one there's going somewhere. Yeah, I'm not sure if we discussed that before, one of we? What they actually mean, these lines with the dots on.
I don't think so.
That'd be my best guess when you think of how it's working now. There'd have to be big style lava tubes going to a central point where Brahm, the creator's at the centre, managing the waste, basically. That's what it looks like to me now. Now all the items in the centre, you've got the 24 elders, the primary 8 and Brahma. There's a total 33. There's your 33 from whatever people keep bringing up this number 33. There's your 33 right there. The ones around the external, it's 48 at the gates and 24 in the centre there. That all these dots, them ones, are not connected to anything. They would become these 72 virgins from another scripture. They're not connected to anything. If you count them, the ones that aren't connected to anything at all, there's 72 of them. Rocky in chat says lava from Hawaii is from Siberia, from what he knows. Interesting. I wouldn't be surprised when you look at what we call the primary 8. Yeah, it's gathering it there and sending it somewhere else. So wherever it starts, it ends up somewhere else.
Yeah, but when you do these lines and you look at all these different tunnels and lava tubes, there's cutoffs. So it's just another way that they've faked the globe. There's cutoffs, and if you look really close, you can see the crease where they've actually split or seamed it. I guess that would be more the word, because they made it a globe. They seamed it right down there, starting around the Bering Strait, and it kind of goes, well, just like that international date line I just showed. So yeah. They're actually not, it's not being fed from Siberia. That couldn't happen. So, I'm not saying they're all not connected, but that would have to come from up here and go over.
I think they would all get mixed up in a central location somewhere. So it'd probably be hard to tell where it came from originally once it got there. But these obviously giant tubes, the lava tubes that we've shown in videos previously, they're obviously smaller ones. The ones that are opening and closing, I think these control them. These primary 8.
He said, what about the other islands of Hawaii? Well, again, let's just refer to this picture here. So look at the black line. The black line is what they call the international date line. And yes, it looks just like that. So Hawaii is up right here where it says right underneath the Pacific Ocean. Those are the Hawaiian Islands. There is plenty of room for more islands to head out before we hit the West Gates. heading north even. But when you get about to that midway island, there is not, that's when it starts to skew with the times, with the days. Everything gets totally messed up at that point when you hit about Midway Island, which is northwest of Hawaii. And then the same thing happens down on the south side too. You hit a certain point in the middle of what they call these Polynesian islands, and that's it. It switches. The island right next to it will jump 20 hours, and it's a whole day ahead, and their daylight times are going to be 6 hours apart. Well, how does that happen if they're right next to each other? The sun doesn't. I mean, how does the sun get affected by the international dateline? You know, it can't. It doesn't. Except that it does, because that's where it stops and goes into the underworld or takes its northern route for the 24-hour sun, whichever time of year it is, to get back to the east.
Yeah. And this time of year, it's going to be using the underground method, isn't it? The underworld method.
Yeah, we just should have switched to that, actually, right? Because we just went through our autumn equinox.
Yeah.
So now the 24-hour sun it was done probably, what, a month or two ago, a month and a half ago. So.
Yeah, we were a bit slow this year, but we couldn't find anyone in the north because we wanted to see if there is two suns or not. And the only way we can think of finding that out is by looking at the sunspots when it's in the 24-hour cycle in the north and comparing them to what sunrise is rising in the east. Mm-hmm. If they match, then yeah, it's the same sun. If they don't match, then there's possibly two suns. That's the only way we can think of doing that. And we haven't had the chance to get to do it because we don't know anyone in the north that's recording sunspots yet. Well, maybe next year we'll get that one, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, and it's the same.
Yeah, you could ask Sergi. Sergi's the only one I know. He's up in. In fact, he's look where he's at. One. He's right on top of the Kola Bowl, just about.
Yeah, he's pretty far north, so he gets that 24-hour sun.
Murmansk, yeah.
But if there's other realms after these gates, who's to say they don't have a sun and we don't catch it? But who's to say it isn't our sun? You know, that's why we need the experiment.
Yeah, that's the only way we can figure it out, isn't it? With the sunspots, burning sunspots.
Yep.
Or you know, if there's a sun showing there and there's one clearly shown in the east, there's something seriously wrong, isn't it? You know, that's what we need: someone in the east and someone in the north at the same time on the screen with us when there's a 24-hour sun in the north and there's a sunrise happening in the east. That's the only way we can figure out how to do it. Not that it's not that important, really. You know, we know it's not a globe. We know, looking at the technological side of it, how it works. We know it's a construct.
The island that has the 24-hour difference, we have a Midway Island. We have Howland Baker Island. We also have the Bering Strait that I can name off the top of my head that have 20 hours difference once you cross that international dateline, which is, you know, its purpose. But yeah, like Jason's saying, the Diomede Islands are what they call part of the Bering Strait. However, they're 3 miles apart. They don't get sunlight for there's a 6-hour difference from the time their sun will rise, even if you're not looking at days, and they're an entire day apart. Maybe a day and a half. There's 20 hours difference, so a day apart.
Well, that right there tells you they're on opposite sides of the world, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have that. I wonder if I have that video loaded in here. It's kind of a quick one. Oh, I do. Let's see if it'll play. Here. If it'll play, let me let you see this for a minute. It's very quick. So, today I was going to talk about the Bering Strait because it's such a mystery with our map how the Bering Strait exists. So the way I see it is it's definitely like the Polynesian islands. They're hiding some information and skewing it on this globe. So everyone always says that there is, it can be seen from Alaska to Russia, okay? And from Russia to Alaska. So, first of all, let's look at these two islands. See the two islands? They're separated. Both of them actually have the same name. One of them's called Big Diomede Island, and the other one is Little Diomede Island.
I don't hear any audio off that one, so you might have to talk over it.
It's interesting that Little Diomede was sitting at Saturday at 4 a.m. when I did this. Okay, I went and looked it all up on time and date, looked up the two different islands and what their times were at that time. Okay, so we've got Saturday 4 a.m. and we have Sunday at midnight on the Big Island. You can hear it. So that actually is about a 20-hour difference. Oh, you can't hear it? Okay. It's kind of crazy since they both have the same name, don't you think?
I don't hear that at all either.
Not to mention that because of the times that they actually say they are, so let's just forget the days for a minute, okay? So Little Diomede is going to light up with daylight in about an hour and a half from the time that I took this reading, okay? And Big Diomede won't light up with daylight for about 5.5 hours from the time I took this reading, okay? Don't we find that a little interesting considering they're only 2.42 miles apart? So to kind of sum it up about the Bering Straits, well, it's one more lie, just like the Polynesian Islands. There's two sets of these things on opposite sides, and they're just calling them the same thing. So yeah, we should definitely also look into some flights. How long do flights take from Little Diomede to Big Diomede Island, or shipping tracks? So I'll look into that next time. This time I just wanted to point out about the time. We can also look at the days. 20 hours difference between these two very small islands. They're only about 3 miles apart, okay? And the fact that daylight hits one and it doesn't hit the other one for about 4 hours. So that's about all I have. Have a good day. Okay, so, and that's how they fake it.
Blatantly obvious, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
You want to shout out the people in chat one? That's what we don't do normally, isn't it?
Right. Hey Mel, Jason, Jossie, I think I said it right. Flat Stuff Earth, Nightbot. I think that's it. And my troll Cade Forker, which I know him, so it's okay.
Richard Burke, he was in there.
Oh, Richard was, yeah. Hi, Richard. Yeah.
FBV Angel was there before as well. I've seen him.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
just keeps turning up, doesn't he?
I think he's stalking me. No, but seriously, do you guys have any more questions about how they fake the Ring of Fire and the anything, the dateline, so they can hide these gates?
Yeah, that's how you hide the what's really going on. They invented the globe tide, the 12 gates, and they stole the name of the realm, which is Israel, and called it a country. That's how you hide it. Hey, Cat's Eyes is in.
Hey, Cat's Eyes.
Organic apple, hello.
Wanna hop in, Cats? Yeah, it's good stuff. Just shows how easy they can hide things. Just name some islands the same thing, and we would never know. We're out in the middle of the ocean. How the heck are we gonna know if they'd really took us to the Polynesian islands, or if they just took us to some islands, southwest of Hawaii? How do we know?
You never know, would you?
Right.
You just believe what you're told, like we always have.
And when people are out there on these cruises, is there a 6-hour difference from the sun reaching one spot to another? I mean, does that really happen? Does it stop?
Yeah. Cats is asking if you're here.
Yeah,
Yeah, Cats is here. She's on the panel. This is not Cats. One. This is her stream.
You can't hear me? They can hear me. He said, "Don't you hear her?"
Maybe a bit of volume down.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Give them people some wrenches just in case. We know all these lot. They're all good people.
I always forget to do that.
She can't hear us.
Yeah, I know.
Cats,
I saw
turn your
that.
volume up. Get my bot onto her.
I don't know why she can't hear. I lost Richard somewhere. Oh, he's already a mod. Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, I think all the people that are keeping up with this, all these guys in the chat, they're pretty genned up on it now. They can see how it's going, how it's working, how it's been hidden. That's probably why they're not asking questions. But it's when you people come and start looking at it, when the ones that's come off the E map and other maps, they're the ones that's going to struggle for a while looking at what we're showing them, because it's not going to make any sense. So they'd have to go and watch all the videos basically. Yeah, we're live, Cats. You want to jump in?
Oh, she's at work. Bummer.
Well, at least she hasn't fell down any stairs yet.
No kidding. The Gates need to watch your video. Cat. Want to talk about
The
this
record,
one?
the record. Jason said he struggled. I'm not surprised. He just came into Flat Earth and walked straight into our work.
That was probably enough to keep you awake for a couple months.
Yeah. What the hell? I mean, there's a guy in my stream earlier said the same. I did not expect to get up today and find this out.
Right.
To be said.
Well, the same for me. When I found Flat Earth, I avoided clicking the videos for the longest time. I was like, that's got to be crazy. And I listened and I was like, wow, they sound really smart though.
Yeah, it could be deceiving that.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, let's talk about this one if you want.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, this one is really cool. I think a lot of people have seen it, but for anyone who hasn't seen it, hold on one second, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, sorry. For those who haven't seen it, I have little numbers on here, and what those are is the number of accelerators that are in that area. I also have little stars that are marking the chakras or vortexes, and then I have little triangles for supervolcanoes. So it's just obvious what it's telling you, that these accelerators, volcanoes, and chakras are all connected, you know.
Oh yeah, for anyone not understanding what we meant by accelerators, I recommend you watch our 12 Gates video, because the angels from Scripture, we are actually decoding as particle accelerators, the technologies in the underworld. This is what angels translate to us in our decodings. Listen to Ezekiel, the whirling wheels of Ezekiel, the eyes round about it. This is where the radioactive particles are being emitted from. It's actually part of the creation process, this technology. But if you want to get more into that, watch our 12 Gates video, and you will see where we're coming from with a lot of answers in that video.
Yeah, it's a long one. I'm not going to play it while we're streaming here. It's about an hour, so it's a little too long to play right now. But also with the what looks like infinity signs, that's the jet streams.
Yeah, for a very technical breakdown, they're going to have to watch the 12 Gates video and any before then, really, because it's been a build.
Yeah. My dog's getting silly.
Could hear that.
So yeah, I don't have anything really else to talk about, do you?
No, I think that's covered those images quite well.
Yeah.
If you want to put something else on, go for that. If not, we can shut it down there. Entirely up to you. One.
I don't know what else I have. What else do I have? I have Mars. I don't know if everybody had saw this or not. This was several years of Mars and how it moves through the years, because everybody keeps saying that the planets are doing things they're not supposed to do. And what I was trying to show is they are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. It says in all scriptures that they won't leave their paths. Just because it moves up or down year to year doesn't mean that it's doing something that it's not supposed to do, or programmed to do. Hi, Empress.
Yeah, we can see why certain people get confused on the E-map and other maps when they're looking at the planetary motions. And in fact, I'm glad I didn't look at planetary motions on the E-map. you wouldn't. If we'd have been plotting our work over the E-map, would have been lost. It wouldn't make any sense at all, would it?
No, it wouldn't, and it doesn't be. And a big problem is the way they have Australia, and it's west of Americas. So if say you're in Australia and you expect it to be where it's supposed to be by its coordinates, and you're looking and it's not where you think it's supposed to be because your continent's not in the right place, that might pose a problem. Perhaps.
Yeah, it's got to be creating a lot of new problems for people.
Mm-hmm.
Which then has them starting to move continents around and things, trying to make it work.
Yep.
And in fact, all real-world data is using the Mercator map, or Mercator, however you want to pronounce it. And it's clearly been derived from this map. This map was produced by Series. What he did was he took the Google images, the Google map images, and applied an algorithm to them, because on the Google map images they kind of rounded off slightly to give it that globe effect and hide what's going on in the north and south. Basically, it skews it all, skews the data. So what he did was he applied an algorithm to the images to square them back up to a square image, and this is the map it produced. And you can see clearly this is where the Mercator map's been derived from. So yeah, it tells us, you know, our research now, we were a bit dubious on some parts of it at one point, but with the gate locations making sense with the international date line splits, we know it's pretty much accurate, this map now, especially with our grid tour. The grid tour is making a lot of sense where they're drilling, not just the drilling, but some of these other locations. If you look at the central line going towards Saudi Arabia, that line there, that would be Riyadh or Mecca. It's that one there, going into Saudi Arabia. And if you watch our grid tour one, you'll see where some of the dots are located in the world. There's still a lot more of them to do, but when you look at in the south, it's lots of islands and things. That's not going to be as important, really. You know, a lot of them are just volcanic islands where these dots are in the south. Very important still, but you know, the ones in the north and say northeast, like over Russia and places, we can refer to them quite well, because the one like the one at Murmansk where the Kolabola is, it's right on top of one of these angels. You've got to ask yourself why they're drilling there, 8 miles down. Well, that's the depth of earthquakes. Russia and Alaska, right there. Huh?
Yeah, this is supposedly the two Diomedes.
It's a small world.
But yet their sunrise is 6 hours apart, and you can see them like that.
6 hours apart. Yeah, you can get both in the same photograph.
Yeah, so that one was funny.
Yep. More blatant errors, globe errors.
Mm-hmm.
With the image, though.
Yeah.
6 hours apart sunlight.
Yeah. Maybe 5.5.
maybe it moves really slow over there.
That's what I was wondering, you know. And then they say that, I mean, when I looked up if there's flights that go from island to island, there's none. When I looked up boat rides, they said that they don't prefer people to travel alone because the waters are so treacherous. Well, by that picture, they don't look very treacherous to me. They look kind of calm.
I think that's the excuse they use to get escorted up past the Bering Strait, isn't it? But the escort's really to stop you going east and seeing something. That's what it's really about.
Yeah. Yeah, there are small populations on those islands. And I believe I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I read that when the military moved in, they forced people to move off of these islands. They got a Nessie in the water.
Probably full of submarines. They'll just torpedo anything that goes past.
Right.
Treacherous waters, all right. Just the people making it that way.
Yeah. It doesn't look very treacherous to me. It looks pretty calm. You know, you'd see waves lashing into the little tiny island if they were horrible, right? Doesn't look like that big of an island.
That's one of the calmest seas I've ever seen, looking at that image.
Yeah. So that's a little more fakery.
Yeah, it's falling apart for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Other people haven't been noticing these things, you know. It's obviously because they're following the wrong map. They're not looking in places where, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, because we set out to debunk the Bering Strait, and it really wasn't hard to do.
No, it's easy. Well, that's what we did, wasn't it? One, we put our heads together on this, so we're gonna have to flatten this out. We're gonna
Yeah,
have to make it a proper flat map. It started with the Aurora Borealis, didn't it?
it did. Yeah, the Aurora straightening that out. Do you still have that picture? If you send it in back chat, I'll stick it on the screen.
Yeah, I'll look at it. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, so that is what me and him did, and then that's when Jimbo started to kind of join in on our research, was when he saw the Aurora straightened out. But that's what we figured we had to do, is we've got all this stuff that's, curved for the globe, it's rounded off for the AE map, it's all incorrect. When you take it and follow the actual land masses and straighten these things out, they actually make a lot of sense. Which he's looking for the picture, and we'll show it to you. Right. There we go.
You sent another one there, the one that got fixed.
Okay, awesome. Let me get this one.
Yeah, the Aurora's there and the Ring of Fire one that we were looking at.
Awesome, yeah. So, there we go.
To Jockey. No, we looked at the map and none of our work works with the map. That's why we're staying with this one. This is the only map we're finding that makes sense. You want to talk through that one?
Yeah, so on the left you see the globe, and that's how the Aurora Borealis comes off the website, where you can, go see a whole lot of different data. I forget the website. That was quite a few months ago, but anyway. And then on the right is where we straightened it out, following the topography of the land instead of having it circled around on a globe or centered in an AE map. And as you can see, I mean, it goes straight across the north. I mean, I can't really prove what the aurora is, but to me it looks like an exhaust for, say, gases. As soon as certain elements hit air in a gas form, they turn colors, right? Doesn't oxygen change the colors, right?
Yeah, sorry, when I was just replying to cats in the chat there.
It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, it could be exhaust or something to do with electromagnetics even from these gates.
Yeah.
We've still got the ones in the south to look at as well, because people in the south apparently see it. I would not be surprised, there's gates north, south, east, and west. It could be going on, off in all directions depending what's going on there.
Mel wants to know if we're closer to the North Pole than we believe. Well, based with the squares and the map, how many miles would the North Pole be? FBB. I don't know.
Let's have a look now.
Yeah.
An hour grid from which location? From the centre?
Well, say from the United States.
Okay. Well, just remember, people, on the grid, the squares in the background, each one of them's 3,100 miles across. So if you go into the top, if the North Pole is at the North Gate, you're looking at 3, 6, 9, 12,000 miles. That'll get you to mid USA, say.
Yeah. She's about mid, maybe a little further south than me.
A lovely stream, Organic Apple says. It's One Conscience's stream, not mine. I'm just a guest on this one. Yeah, from UK, it'd be 3, 6, 9, yeah, about 11,000 miles from UK going north. If you lived in Greenland, you're looking at about 7,000 miles, say. 6, 7,000 miles going north. If that's if the North Pole is the Northern Gates. We've still got a lot of stuff to confirm on this map, really. The luminaries, the positioning of them, things like that. A lot to look at, but we're pretty confident the map's working well. We know the flights, how the flights work now. We can see there's hidden flight routes going. We can see what's happening with them. There's just a lot of stuff making sense on it. There's still more to research. But we're such a small team, and there's a lot to do, so it's kind of slowing us down, getting everything out there.
Yeah, definitely.
We can find a lot of information out, and then we have to chat about it, try and debunk it ourselves, try and make it work, and then put it into some kind of a video format, do animations, and it is time consuming. And we do need someone that's very proficient in Blender that would help speed this up more.
Yeah, definitely, to get a working model.
Yeah, so. I mean, Jimbo's done some fantastic work in it, but he says, he hasn't got time to carry on doing all that.
Yeah.
It can be consuming working in 3D programs. We know that. I used to work in them myself, and it's a slow process.
Yep. So if anybody knows anyone that is proficient with Blender and would like to get in on some research, it's called Blender, Melanie. It's a
3D editing software, basically.
Yeah.
3D, making 3D work. That image there, that's Africa. Look at the state of Africa. I haven't lined up correctly, but you can see what I had to do in that image. What I've done that image was I took the fake map and switched the left to the right and the right to the left, so you can see what's really going on. So ignore the mess I've made of Africa. It just didn't line up correctly because the way I had to cut the map. That's kind of how it really is. Our map shows it best with the grid on, really. But that was after fixing that map. That map was the same again. It was a fake map showing the ring of fire. That once it's corrected, it's not a ring of fire at all.
No.
They call it the ring of fire to push the globe, basically. It supports the globe, so it's just no globe bullshit.
Yep. And really, it does that, but there's volcanoes all along the ocean bed, and the more and more of these lines that I outline on the Google Earth, the more I see them, and You know, it's just not local to these edges even. It goes straight through the equator area, which is the fire in the middle, the pyramid. It's the middle of the pyramid. Which, when you look at our map in a 3D sense, that's what it is. Kind of has a pyramidal shape, sort of, you know. Awesome. That'd be great if we find someone that is really, really good with Blender, or I don't know a lot about programs, so I don't know any others.
Yeah, just put it in chat so they know how it's spelled. 3D Blender.
Yeah.
It's a free program. A very, very good program. It does a hell of a lot. You can, you know, you can make games, anything you want with it professionally. It's all for free.
I downloaded it. I haven't even opened it yet. Yes.
I did, and I got the map in there, but I haven't really done a lot with it.
Yeah.
Just, you know, because you have to start following tutorials to find your way around, and it's a slow process. You know, I'd rather someone that knows what they're doing in it already come at it, and it'd take them probably half an hour to do what we want them to do.
Yeah.
Well, even less. You know, if Jimbo puts the way his work into an FBX file, he can save it and put it onto Dropbox. We can download it and load it straight into Blender, and we get what he's already made. It's as easy as that to do.
You know what's funny? Sorry to interrupt. You know your little line that you messed up here? It looks a lot like the line they messed up.
Yeah, it gets noticeable, doesn't it?
Look, that's exactly what they did. And you said you cut it and you flipped it over so that you could show what you were trying to show. But look at this line going down the center. So we'll go back to this faking of the Ring of Fire. It's the same thing. They cut it and they flipped it to make it match up.
Ah, Sandra. Sandra's in chat.
Spanish Chicken said Wrenchville.
Hey, Spanish Chicken, Frankie.
Hello, Frankie.
Empress Lou, hello.
Yep, for anybody that just came in, what we were talking about was faking the Ring of Fire, the international dateline, and the Bering Strait, which tells us that the globe is wrong and the AE map is wrong, unfortunately. I think a lot of us got fooled with that one.
Yeah. Hey, Goldfish, Brain, Steve Watson, Frankie D. Flat, Sandy.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat.
Yeah, well, we're just showing how that projection you're looking at there is fake. It doesn't exist. This is how they're faking the globe.
Yep.
And the reason why is the 12 gates. You want to hide the 12 gates, you have to create a globe to hide them.
Yep. This one showing now has the international dateline going down in black. Just to do a quick recap, we've got the two cruises that they say go to the Polynesian Islands, one coming from America, one coming from New Zealand, but they don't really cross the international dateline ever. They just kind of go in loop-de-loop roundabouts, and then they head back to where they started. You know, my question is, if they can spend 30 days at sea going around Hawaiian Islands and all these other little islands along the way and back up, why can't they take a cruise straight from California to New Zealand? Or even cross the international dateline, for that matter, just cross the line.
Yeah, well, they probably pretend they do, and you know, this is a highland over in the west or the east, and it's not really. You would never know. There's that many islands there, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't know because you're out in the middle of the ocean, and an island would be an island, and you would believe whatever you were told it was.
Yeah, same as we would believe we were on a globe and outer space is real, and it's not.
Yep.
If you want to put our map to full screen again once so people can see what the map really looks like, because
Yep.
some of these people might not have seen this map.
Okay, there's our map, which makes perfect sense when it comes to, well, everything. What all
Yep.
does it make sense on, FPV? Go through the list.
Right, scripturally speaking, for you guys that's just turned up again, scripturally speaking, these are the gates in the north, south, east and west. The grid actually comes from the Nazca lines at Nazca, Peru. I used it to overlay with various world maps because I knew it was something very special, sacred geometry coming to life. And when we came across this map, which was produced by Series, using an algorithm to square Google images back to square images, this is what it produced. The map's actually bigger than this. There's another third of this map missing in the north. The data he got from it's you can see things are there, but it's all obscured. But this is the most important part of the map because this is what the grid actually fits over. And these are the gates in the north, south, east and west, where, for instance, in various scriptures and even in the book of Enoch, you'll hear him mention the gates in the north, south, east and west. Gates, portals, it's the same thing. Other information on screen, the 24 elders from scripture are those 24 dots around the center circle. The total number of dots plus the item in the center of the grid is 33. The item at the center being Brahma the creator. If you look at one of our previous videos, or the 12 gates video of ours in fact, you'll hear Santos Bonacci giving that a nice breakdown of what you're looking at there. You know, it's Shiva, which is Satan basically. These are these dots on the grid. What you're looking at, people, are technologies. These are technologies in the underworld. This is what the scriptures, geoglyphs, petroglyphs, hieroglyphs. What else is the one? There's a big list. Earthquakes,
volcanoes,
yeah,
water currents.
The list's endless, isn't it?
The luminaries, the sun, the moon.
Right, so what the dots represent, people, what they are particle accelerators. You're going to find out angels from scripture are really particle accelerators. The whirling wheels, the eyes round about it, these are all part of how a particle accelerator works. And also they can project. If you look at our 12 gates video again, you'll see in there a very good technical breakdown of what you're looking at. And the work done by Nikola Tesla on particle accelerators in the 1800s, you know, this is going back, it goes back further than I thought it did. But the work from particle accelerators, now the work, this technology is part of the creation process. I can't stress enough, if you watch our 12 gates video, you'll get a very, very good breakdown of how they work. And like I said, they do project. You can make them project, you can have them project in a halo, you can project a luminary, or what was the other one? Or just create. But yeah, rather than go into it too much in this one, watch our 12 gates video, very important. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you're never going to get it, because that 12 gates video gives you a hell of a good breakdown on a lot of how this is working. But yeah, that's a must watch.
Yeah. The other thing that follows along with all of this also is temples.
Oh yeah, temples positioned in the right places, and pyramids as well. Yeah. They're all part of the construct.
Yep. And crystal caves and sinkholes. I could name a million things that I've looked at. And a really weird one, which I've just kind of started looking into, but I've discovered that falls right in the same areas, are those damn UFO sightings that people say they've seen. You know, that's another thing I wanted to look at, because what are they seeing? And what is it and where is it? So I started placing those, and a lot of those fall on our areas that would contain an angel along the same quake paths, right along the grid, because all of that is the grid. You know, earthquakes are a result of this stuff happening below, and it's causing a trembling as the technology fires up or is running, and the stuff might be churning together. And
also the winds, you know, the winds mentioned in scripture. This is the technology that's creating the winds. Particle acceleration involves constant flow of energy going counter-rotating flows of energy. This is your rotating vortex field, or your Fibonacci sequence. This is what's generating it, this technology. This is what they're hiding. It's a technological realm. And the globe to hide the 12 gates. If you look at the 12 gates in the image, now imagine the center being a globe. They've made a globe to hide the 12 gates. That's how you hide the 12 gates from scripture. You create a globe and cut the map up. The cut being the international date line to stop you going any further. And as you can see, everyone thinks all the secrets are in Antarctica, but they're actually in the north, south, east, and west. And the closest and easiest accessible ones are the ones in the east. If you look at that, several thousand miles east of New Zealand, you will see something very special. They can't hide it. This technology projects from the underworld. The sun will literally come out of the ground before your very eyes and rise up into the heavens, as described by Ezekiel in scripture. And if you look at which video was it now? I showed you the sunrise from. They're saying it was Antarctic sunrise. It was not Antarctica. It's a sunrise from the east. You can see it virtually coming out of the ground and going up into the sky. It's on our tour map, I think, on our video that's got the grid tour on.
yeah, see, we should have got on Hangouts. You could have showed it.
Yeah. We have to set that up first, don't we, before we go live?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can still play it. You've got access to play it your side if you've got the video. If not, it doesn't matter. We don't want to show links or anything.
I could put a... Give me a second, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, do you have the link to it?
To the video?
Yeah.
Hold on a sec.
Because there's no sound it could play, right?
What am I looking for again, Mum? The grid tour one, wasn't it?
It was the, oh my gosh, you made my brain go blank. It was the tour, the one that doesn't have any sound, showing what's at the Angels.
There you go.
There we go. Okay.
The sun does not rise, remember, Frankie said. Actually, it does. It comes from the ground. It tells you this in scripture. It's not going round in a circle like people imagine on the E-map. That's just fantasy talk. The only time it does that is when it's in a 24-hour cycle. We don't follow the E-map. Our work does not work with the E-map. What we're decoding in scriptures and sacred geometries and geopectral hieroglyphs not work on the You sure? That should be the tour one.
Oh.
What we're looking for the grid tour again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I guess
Yeah.
it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Frankie, we don't follow the map. Tried out with friends and
Okay, I can't hear. Can't hear FPV.
Tigermon.
Eternal said he can't hear you.
Well, I do. How come you don't hear me, mate?
So, no.
Unless you've been in OBS.
Yeah, I'll have to have it set up a little better to do something like that, but because I'd have to figure out how to turn my sound off where I don't hear the video, but they can.
It's maybe when the video's playing and I wasn't talking.
Yeah, just the music, yeah.
We'll do that a bit another time, though. You know, we should have done a lot really before we went live, but we didn't know we were going to show that one.
Right. But yeah, what he was saying though is we don't follow the AE map. One good reason why is the international dateline in the Bering Strait and the Polynesian Islands.
And the grid.
And the grid.
A lot of other things, planets.
Because we tried to flip the map around and put the grid on, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I did overlay this grid on Antonio Subaratz's map for him to show him how it would work on his map, and I got copyright strike for doing it, so that ended that kind of work.
Yeah, Frankie, it does move away from us and our point of view, but Scripture says that it sets and it rises. It travels in the underworld when it's not doing its 24-hour sun.
Yeah, it's not up there all the time. There's the 12 Gates video we did. That's the Egyptians breaking it down, how it returns to the east from the west in the underworld. There's a return path in the underworld. So Frankie, look on one's channel here and you will see a video. It should be the same name one, is it? The 12 Gates?
I'll find it. I'll find the link.
Watch your 12 Gates video, very important. Some amazing information in that video alone. Oh yeah, it's very flat. But this is the map we're working with and we're finding it works very well. Hey Lev, shout out to Lev.
Yep, hi Lev.
Hey, one conscious is in the chat, who's that?
But yeah, that's the link for the 12 Gates. Feel free to watch it. It actually breaks down the sun's return path, like he said, when it goes through the underworld. What happens when it's down there, and how does it get rid of the waste that is created from it, all that happening down there.
Yeah, that pizza buy map, throw it away, doesn't work. To make it work, they're having to move continents. They're assuming flights travel in straight lines, and you can see yourself. In fact, on the Mercator map, the Flight Radar 24, you will see they're not flying. They do not fly in straight lines.
Yep.
They can't. They have to fake the globe, so they're having to fly north and sneak around the map. But we expose that what they're doing. So this, this map's. Eventually it may get debunked, this map. So far we've had no issues with it whatsoever. Everything's working fine with it. The only worry I had was the flights, but we've already figured out how they're doing it. They're sneaking up and we're going north and they're flying east to west to fake the globe.
Trying to find the link for your video where you found the northern flight?
On my channel.
Mm-hmm. If you know where it is, you should put it in chat.
Yeah.
For them to see what the northern flight routes are. By the way, if anybody knows anyone that is proficient with Blender 3D that would like to assist in building a working model, tell them to get a hold of FPV.
There you go, guys, in the chat there, that video that'll show, it's just a short video showing you how the flight routes are hidden and how it works with this map. People's depicted it before with the map and a different projection of the other map, the Cater map, which we know is a fake one, which is what this video one's made in the streams about, really, how they were faking the map. And let's see what they're doing. So,
for anyone that just joined, what we were starting out with was this picture here of the Ring of Fire, and what I pointed out was all the blatant BS that's kind of going along with it. For instance, the line that's rolling right down the middle of it, where they obviously cut and pasted it, the different colors of water of the same ocean, right?
Yep. I like you showed with the one I was messing about with, you can see it's a blatant split.
Yeah. Yeah. And the one FPV just showed, he clearly told us he split the map and they look the same.
Yeah, so. same mess. Aha, Lev, I can see you, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's where they've wrapped the globe around. If you look at the top of that map there, you can see where Alaska joins. It's not far from Russia. In reality, they're on opposite sides of the world.
Yep. I have a Bering Strait video that shows how they do that one.
Seemed down the centre, yeah. Doesn't it? Like a book's being folded in half, isn't it? The crease down the centre.
Yep. And this here international date line is another clear deception when islands that are so close to each other are 20 hours apart in time, and their sunrises are about 5.5 hours apart, especially up at the Bering Strait. Sorry. Up at the Bering Strait, we have two islands called Big Diomede and Little Diomede. They're about 3 miles apart, and their sunrises are about 5.5, 6 hours apart. That right there tells me there is no Bering Strait. Those islands are on opposite sides of the world or something. You know, they're not 3 miles apart.
Yeah, so it's good that there's plenty of people coming in now and to understand how this map's really working. It's a lot to get your head around, guys, but if you think this is bad, go and watch the 12 Gates one. Get your head around that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this has got a lot going for it, this research. We don't, like we said earlier, we don't advertise it as much as we think we should because people are scared of jumping on models. Any model has to be proven the same as any map. So what we're doing here is this is a map and a model. You know, we're having to prove Series' map, which we are doing quite well. Things work quite well with it. The grid overlay works fine with it. The grid overlay being sacred geometry from the Nazca lines, which is strangely mentioned in scriptures with the gates in the north, south, east, and west. It's all coming to life, all the sacred geometry and geopetro and hieroglyphs. You know, it's this information is very accurate. When you look at our grid tour, you can see how accurate it is when we start showing you where these dots are on the map. Very important. So, you know, we're not forcing a model. We're not ramming this model down your throat. We're saying, take a look at this research, guys. This is, we would call this very important, very up-to-date information. It's still being worked on. You know, if we find something wrong, we let you know. We're not going to lie to you. If something doesn't work, we'll scrap it and start again. but it just keeps progressing and progressing and giving answers all the time.
Yeah, and the best thing to do would be, if you're researching anything, go ahead and give it a go on this map. If you're finding any type of flaws, because it might surprise you. I mean, it did me. That's what FPV told me when we first met was, here's a copy of the map, try your earthquake stuff on it, and tell me what you think. And, well, my mouth hit the floor because all the earthquakes were falling right in prime locations of where these angels are.
Jockey's made you a present. He says you'll find it when you log into Discord.
Bering loves Nightbot. Good night, goldfish.
Yeah, see you later, goldfish, mate.
Thank you for coming.
Nice one, Dodger Vision. You always pop up, mate, Dodger. You know, this Cynthia Cell, guys, you know, take a look at our work. It's very well researched. It goes back the best part of a year now, probably further, but, you know, the videos will go back to maybe a year or less.
Yeah.
And take a look at it and take it on board. And like one says, you know, if you're doing your own research, try overlaying it with our work. Try overlaying it with this map or this grid and see what sense it makes to you. You know, we want people to look at it and try and debunk it. You know, even Globers won't touch this. How can you? You know, this work is speaking for itself. It covers a hell of a lot of fields, structures,
well, to debunk it,
hieroglyphs, everything.
To debunk it, you would not only have to look at all forms of glyphs, but all world happenings, including the earthquakes, the volcanic eruptions. Where the hell does lava come from? How is it made? Is there a big source of lava somewhere? You know, how do we have all this lava?
The halos one.
The halos.
Didn't mention
Yeah.
the halos yet.
Oh, the halos. Yeah. Oh, I have one of those I can show on here.
Yeah, sundog guys, they're part of the projection from the underworld. It's part of the projection showing that shouldn't be. We should not ever see them.
There's a halo. That one was for the autumn equinox that I actually captured.
You see it to the right of the sun?
Yep.
The node lit up.
Yep. And the circle going up around it.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second, I'm getting the sun.
Those aren't sundogs, those are halos. That's how the sun travels around.
And they tie in exactly with Ptolemy's work, which he described them as epicycles. They rotate round. If you look at Ptolemy's work, which was the reigning model for quite a long time before Copernican system destroyed it, which we know is fake now. The globe's fake, so all the Copernican system can get thrown out the window. We go back to what we knew before. So we go back to Ptolemy's work, and straight away you find Ptolemy's epicycles perfectly match these halos in the sky that they call sundogs. They rotate around slowly. Stan Smith noticed that first. He noticed on his time-lapse video, you could see it slowly turning. But it's definitely what you would call an epicycle. So then it kind of backs Ptolemy's work up. And I mean, our research backs up Ptolemy's work, it backs up Enoch's work, it backs up scripture. Everything we've looked at now is backing up, isn't it, one? Even Tesla's work is involved in this. You can go to our 12 Gates video again, the last part of it, you will see where Tesla starts to play a part in this, and where this technology is really coming from.
So you'd also have to look at nuclear energy and nuclear waste.
Yeah, nuclear technology, radioactive material, that's involved in this. The Eye of Horus, I decoded that in 12 Gates video, so you can see what it is. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it yet. But go and watch the 12 Gates video and you will see the Eye of Horus being decoded and how it works. This is what everything's been telling us. All the ancients. In fact, what I realised was all the royals, all the tribal leaders, all the chiefs, all the various cultures, everything that depicted was the workings of the realm, the workings from the underworld and the luminous work. That's what they're all trying to depict and tell you. Every one of them. Doesn't matter what part of the world you look at. It's all connected to the same grid.
Spanish Chicken wants to know about the feckin' chemtrails.
Huh? Chemtrails.
Yeah, they illuminate these halos. Every time I've ever caught a node, which normally I only catch the node, but this time I actually caught a whole big piece of the halo. But the chemtrails help illuminate these things. So when there are very thin, wispy chemtrails, that's the best time to go out and look up at the sun. Unfortunately, because we have to expose ourselves to that, but that's the best time to go out and try to capture these halos. Usually if you look to the right, in my area, every time I look to the right of it, I see the node. Like I said yesterday, it was just lined right with chemtrails to where I caught a big portion of the halo. They're everywhere. Everyone probably has one.
Yeah, they do, don't they? The halos behind characters in stained glass and religious
Yeah.
pictures make more sense now. Yeah, perfect sense. It's there. It's blatant in your face. It's right there. Yeah, everywhere you look, you're going to see depictions of like saints with halos behind them. Yeah, they're all depicting the same thing, the halos. As above, so below.
Yeah.
What you're seeing in the heavens is also taking place in the underworld. The underworld's the physical model and projector. The one in the heavens is the projection. That's exactly what Scripture's telling you guys. If you look at some of our videos where we decode Scripture, you can go and look at them, and you can see the conclusions we came to. It's telling you it's technology. The angels in the underworld casting gold, a gold. This is not a flying angel. This is a piece of technology. It's describing. You start decoding it like we are, then you start to really see the construct. Now that's where my advantage came from. I'd never read scriptures before,
Out here at the pumpkin
and I
patch,
found this work
sure
and
enough, there is a halo.
this research. I started doing this
1
research and
second, baby.
the sacred geometry and all that, and it started making sense. And when I read scriptures, that was my advantage. I could tell straight away what it was telling me. It was telling me what I was looking at, the construct. It's telling me it's a technological construct.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I'm pretty sure you guys that do know scripture are going to start making sense of our work probably quicker than we did. As Ron and I don't know a lot of scripture. We're learning scripture, and we're decoding it and seeing straight away what it's translating into. So anyone that knows scripture is probably going to have a big advantage over us. They'll read things quicker from it than we can. But we're not slow. You look at Ezekiel and certain sentences, the cherubims, all the cherubims are angels. It's technology. And this is the only way we can see it working anyway. All those luminaries in the sky, we know space is fake. We've debunked zero gravity. They should be dropping out of the sky and they're not. So it's telling you, that tells us they are projections. The moon being a very good example, because if the moon's over the equator, guys, people in the north and people in the south are seeing what they call it a reversed image. Now, I would redefine that as a mirrored and flipped image, because a projection causes that. People in the south should not see the same face we see in the north, flipped and mirrored, especially if the moon's in between us, which it would be at the equator. So imagine someone is standing in Australia and someone in UK, and the moon in the middle. Right, the person in Australia should not see the same face flipped and mirrored the north are seeing. It's impossible. They put it down as reversed. Now that would suggest it's a 2D image and not a 3D solid rock object. So again, NASA are contradicting themselves. You cannot have a 2D image in the sky. They're contradicting themselves, trying to hide what it really is. It's a projection. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. I mentioned that to Evie one night and she wasn't getting it, so I should probably make a video of that. And in fact, hold on one. I think I have got an image to show you. I'll pass it you in the back chat. Hold on.
Okay. The picture up now is Russian Alaska. This is supposedly at the Bering Strait. It's supposedly 2 islands that have the same name, called Big Diomede, which is in Russia, and Little Diomede, which is in Alaska. There we go. Get this one for you on screen.
Yeah, I just one image there for you to look at the moon and what I meant about the flipped and mirrored view. It should not be happening if the moon's in between the north and the south. It can only happen on a projection or a liquid state object.
There we go. Okay.
Lovely.
Yep. There you go. Now you can talk about it.
There you go, guys. Look. Top left image is the view Australia would see the moon, and that, well, in the south would see what the Australian view sees, and the north sees what the view on the left sees in the UK. Now, if you flip and mirror the Australian image, look what it does. It's the exact same face the north's seeing. Very, very little difference. Now, if the moon is in between us, they should not see the same face we see flipped and mirrored. It would be physically impossible if that was a solid 3D rock object. I'm telling you straight away, that is not a solid rock 3D object. It's not something you can land on, that's for sure. So yeah, look at that image. Flipped and mirrored. How can it reverse? You know, if they're saying it reverses, that's suggesting it's a flat 2D image. So they contradict themselves right there with that statement. It's supposed to be a 3D ball rock, is it not? So when you flip and mirror it, you shouldn't see the same image. If they're in the south and we're in the north, and it's in the centre, you should never see the same face. They should be seeing more of the bottom of the moon, not the same face we see flipped and mirrored. Hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to you, Juan?
Yes.
Am I putting it across right?
Yeah, it made sense to me. Did you see CD's question?
Whose?
CD.
Oh yeah, why do we always seem to see the moon from the side? Anyone ever think about all that? That's all. From the side, yeah, well, it's a projection. We might actually be seeing the inside of the projector. You know, this might be the image that's inside the projection. In scripture, they called, I think it was a vial, was it one?
Yes.
Now, if you remember,
Yes.
in scripture, it says they scooped up some hot coals from below the whirling wheels and placed it somewhere. Well, they placed it in a vial, which is basically a chamber. They put it in the middle of the particle accelerator, starts it up, it starts projecting the sun, and off they go. And it's projecting into the heavens as it goes out. You read Ezekiel, and you will see exactly that's what's going on. So the sun projector is basically a particle accelerator that's attached to some kind of a vehicle that's moving around in the underworld. They all are. Anything in the heavens moving has got an accelerator in the underworld projecting it. Some are stationary, some project a halo, some project luminaries, and some of them are moving around. This is what we've been decoding from scriptures and geoglyphs. And like I said with the Nazca lines, I've been decoding the Nazca lines, and they're basically blueprints for layers in the underworld. Same as the Antikytherian mechanism. When you look at the Antikytherian mechanism, it's a hand-based computer that can tell you the lunar eclipses and, you know, all kinds of information, which would be impossible. You know, how could ancients a few thousand years ago predict all that into a little handheld computer? It's too predictable, very predictable. That tells you it's, you know, it's a design, it's a construct.
Exactly.
And everyone knew how it worked. That's the most important information we noticed. Everyone, everywhere in the world was depicting it, how it worked. Now, I've no idea what happened for us all to forget. Going back to chemtrails can make you forget, because There's a lot of aluminium in it, and aluminium affects memory. So yeah, they should not be
I would
spraying aluminium
say
everywhere.
after the deluge, which I really don't think it was as long ago as they tell us it was, you know, but I think after the deluge happened and everybody started, you know, surfacing or coming from wherever they survived at, because it wasn't just Noah. Every single country, every single religion has a story of a Noah. You know, they just have different names. But after the deluge and everybody started surfacing, I think these elite, which I'm sure survived as well, did everything in their power to hide it from that point forward and slaughter anyone who wouldn't conform. And that's what all of that, the wars and the massive slaughtering and, you know, just random killing of villages and people. I think that's what it was all about, was getting rid of the ones who would not conform and follow their, well, in a sense, their new world order, because it was a new world.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. All your wars and everything's all over this grid. People say all roads lead to Rome. We're finding all roads lead to hiding the construct and the creator of it. That's what they really lead to.
Exactly. Hold on. Look at the map and look at the angels, you know. The angels are, well, where the grid is and the little dots. And think about all the wars that go on where these angels are. I bet they did too, Baron.
And you notice with the Bible, they've removed lots of books from the Bible. You have to ask yourself why, what they're trying to hide. There's too much information there where you would figure out it's a construct.
Yeah, especially Enoch.
Oh yeah, Enoch is a very good description. Enoch's gates, Enoch's portals, they're right there on the grid. You know, this grid's not made up by me. This grid comes from the Nazca lines at Nazca, Peru. This is where this grid over the world maps came from. I overlaid it with the world maps until I found the right map. You know, sacred geometry coming to life before your very eyes. Not just the geometry, but everything after it, isn't it? You know, everything's followed on from that first move.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, the Middle East alone, you know, look at the map. Look how many angels are over there in Europe, the Middle East. It's owned by the crown. America is covered. They say we're free, but we're owned by the crown too. So,
Yep.
so they lie. Didn't matter that we threw the tea in the river. Didn't matter at all.
So any questions from you guys in the chat? Anything that we should elaborate on more for you, say, or random questions even? we really don't know how people are taking this. And our worry is, you know, people's getting a bit paranoid about people pushing models, but when you're getting correlations like we're getting with all this research, you've got to talk about it, you know, you can't just hide this.
Not only questions, do you guys have anything that you think about it? What do you guys think about this stuff? Does it make sense? Just curious.
Jason said if I could debunk it, I would.
I think Jason tried.
Spanish Chicken said nothing makes sense. You should probably watch some of our work, Spanish Chicken, and you might find it's making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense to us. We can see how it works. We know how the technology works. We can see they're working with the technology. CERN is a copy of one of them. There's a connection for you. CERN is a copy. It's either a copy or it could even be one of the original pieces of technology they've brought back to life.
Yep, it could be either or.
Because there is the fallen angels in scripture basically mean accelerators that have failed. They've malfunctioned. So they're put in a room until 1,000 years in the future when they need looked at. I think that's how it was worded in scripture. So, yeah, I mean, even the mains beliefs coming into this, you know, I'm not sure if a lot of belief systems that are still around today realise how very important their information is that they've got. You know, it might not mean a lot to them anymore because they think they're living on a globe in space and everything it used to mean has been hidden. But we know that's bullshit. So everything it used to mean is very, very important now. It goes back to, we have to go back to what we knew in the past. What were we taught in the past? And this is what we're finding. We were taught this is a technological construct. An underworld, a very, very real underworld.
Yeah. Eternal.
Yeah, like Baron says, looking underground is interesting. No one is.
Yeah, they're all looking up, but the stuff's coming from below. Eternal said he thinks it's all made of toroidals and vibration. I agree. All the way from the micro to the macro.
This technology creates, maintains, and destroys. Santos gives it a breakdown in our 12 Gates video. How some of them play important roles. You know, I would rather let Santos give it a talk over because his research does overlap ours. He knows this. You know, we've been keeping Santos up to date with this quite regular. We have chats in the background with him, you know, private chats. We probably do a lot more in private than we do in public, but we only do that so we're putting out the right information. You know, we want it to be right and presented correct as possible. So we can do a lot in the background with other people, really, just to make sure we're getting things right. And you know, Santos's research would take us a long time to try and learn ourselves, whereas he can look at this and say, yeah, that makes sense because it means this. You know, and he'll elaborate more on Shiva or I can't do all the names. You know, he knows all the names of all the various deities from scriptures. You know, we're still learning all that. I haven't seen him for a few days, so I'm not sure. Well, not a few days, probably about a week or so now. I heard he was having a chat with someone, but it wasn't broadcast live, so I don't know if he's just doing things in private at the moment or not. I'll have to try and catch back up with him on Skype again. Well, I left him a few messages, and the last time I looked, he hadn't responded to them. So I'm not going to pester him. You know, he has got a lot of problems going on of his own. I think he's diagnosed himself as having Morgellons, and it's keeping him awake at nights. You know, he's scratching a lot, and all the symptoms of Morgellons are there. So he's looking into that. So I think that's keeping him offline at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, Baron. Learning things from scratch it's just a time, it takes a time to do that. And you have to forget everything that you think you know.
Yeah, Michael Tellinger. You know, anyone that's done any kind of research, I would imagine, if they looked at our work, you know, they should have them sitting on the edge of the seat watching it because they're going to be able to relate to it very easy, and they'll see exactly where we're coming from.
Yeah.
It can reference a lot of things, and like I said, the various cultures, religions, and belief systems are covered in this research.
Well, I don't know who Michael Tellinger is, but I mean, wouldn't be a bad thing to start talking to people that have like-minded ideas.
Well, Dee went to see him. Somebody who was in UK just recently. He did the tour and talks.
Okay, so he does
And
tours.
Dee, Eternal Padawan, he had a chat with him, the selfie taken with him, and told him to look at this research. So
Awesome.
yeah, well done, Dee. Hope he does. He does, and I mentioned that, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's no skin off our nose if they don't, With this research, it kind of puts us, we're not being big-headed about this, but we can see who's guessing out there and who's not. Now we know what we're working with. There's a lot of people guessing, and I'm not saying they're not putting bad work out. But if you're guessing and assuming things, then everything you do after that's on assumptions, isn't it? Well, we don't work that way. We're having to cover everything to do with this grid and see what the hell's going on with it, and it makes a lot of sense. It does when you got the blueprints, doesn't it, One?
Yeah, it
The
does.
Nazca lines are the blueprints. We know it works.
Yeah, they are the blueprints to the underworld, outlined in the Google. And the reason I use the Google ball is because it has amazing detail and true pictures of what the topography looks like. But it's literally the blueprints of the base of the home. And it's really cool to see it all come to life. I have plenty of videos showing those lines, and now I'm working on how the luminaries are traveling through them.
I'm doing a little bit on some of the technology involved and I'm going to show you how it works, basically. A little animation of it.
Yep.
Yeah, the research has slowed down a bit, but that's only because we're trying to find someone that's proficient in Blender now, so we can show you a proper working model. We can show you a sunrise coming from the east and going across the sky and into the west. And I can do it in the software I use. I haven't got the resources. My computer's not that fast anymore, and memory's low, and the hard drive's probably got about 10,000 videos on already that I've made. Lots of videos to make room for more. I do animations and I don't always use them all. Or I don't think it looks right, so I just won't use it. But yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to see the 3D view we've got of it, where we pan around it. It'd be nice to see the luminaries going across the sky at least once, wouldn't it? One. I mean, if Jimbo gives us that, the work he's done already, Jimbo, if he gives me that, I can load that into Blender and record that and get us a few different views out of it to use. Because you have got the planets plotted in there, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, because he had it working so nicely. I thought he wasn't happy with it, but I thought it looked great. It was a year's worth of planets, and he entered all of whatever he entered into Blender, and they were doing what they do right above our map, and it was, it's exactly how they look when we look up in the sky.
Yeah.
It was real world data that brought it,
Yeah.
Just used
That's what's good about this one, isn't it? We're using their own tools against them. Their own information's destroying them.
Good night, Spanish
Things
chicken.
they're trying to hide, we're revealing. It's a slow process because this information is information overload for most people, I would imagine. It was for us, wasn't it, One?
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Surprise after surprise after surprise all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, every day. Every day there was something. But it is slowing down, like you just said, because we've looked into so much stuff. I mean, I don't even think we said everything we looked into. Because there was just so much.
Yeah, we probably never covered it, all the things we talk about in private. It's just too much.
Another
But there's,
thing,
we don't have to cover everything. We just need to show you what we're showing you here is the most important stuff we think, and how it relates to real world data.
yeah. Another
important part.
thing me and Jason were working on one night, and I gave up on it, but was trying to plot the all the constellations onto our world and see how it relates with like temples or different things. I gave up on it because I just have too much going on and I don't have enough time to do all that, because it takes a really long time to enter coordinates and figure out where it is and then transfer it over.
Yeah, there's a lot of information in that sky.
Yeah, but he was
Same
very
with,
helpful.
it's the same with the stars as well, isn't it? You know, they're getting flipped
Yeah.
and mirrored in the south. And any that aren't flipped and mirrored tell you they're further, they're further south or further north or east or west of where you are. If there's no flipping and mirroring, then you're on one side of it, and whoever's on the other will see the flipped and mirrored view of it. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Scripturally speaking, there's up to 144,000 of them.
And that makes sense because they're all traveling along the equator area. So it would make sense that those to the north would see one view and those to the south would see the other. Now, not on a globe or anything, but with our model it does, because they're being projected from below.
Yeah, like I just said, if you're not seeing a flipped and mirrored view of one, then you are seeing one that's unique to your side of the realm.
Yeah.
Or it's due to perspective, they're not seeing it the other side of the equator. This is, you can see a lot of people get lost with that, can't you? It's easy to get lost in what's going on with them luminaries. When you think about, they're just projections going overhead. A lot of them just going in straight lines. Some of them are curving due to electromagnetic manipulation, let's say, with these halos and paths that they follow. Others will probably be going in a straight line, and they appear to be curving, but they're not. It's your eyes causing that. Our eyes naturally cause things to curve at distance. There's more confusion for people.
Yeah. Let's see. I did some work with the tubes, and let's see if I can find the video. I'll share it. But the tubes, when you're seeing how the moon, because I only did the moon, but you see how they travel, and it's showing kind of why they would make their epicycles.
Santos put us onto the epicycles. You mentioned to me, he says you're probably going to come across epicycles. That's when I realised what Tollaby was trying to describe.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other pictures or anything else to talk about?
See now. We could be all night with this.
I know, but still, if people are listening, I'll keep telling them about it if they're interested.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll send you one of these. These are nice to look at, these. I don't know if people seen them before. It's a nice one of Venus. I'll send you this in the back chat.
Okay. Hello, Chris.
There you go, on in the back chat. I'll see if we've got any others like that thing.
Oh, yeah. That's a nice
The
one.
image of that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice one. Okay. Oops.
And another one there for you.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's a nice image there of Venus. Right, and sitting on, you can see the halo right below it, can't you? You can see the path there Venus is going to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. Perfectly. I was
Look,
getting
it
the other
even looks like a swallow, doesn't it? Looks like a swallow bird. As far as I'm aware, that image was taken in Russia.
Sorry, Jason called you a slave driver.
Well, one's streaming and she's got control of OBS, so she has to do the image work.
I'm a little slower at it.
I'm just in the background.
Okay, hold on.
But one is a very proficient researcher and screamer and content creator, you will notice.
Well, I've learned. I could barely turn on the computer before all this. No, it's because they are. They are toroidals. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
And it takes the toroidal below to project this above.
Rotating toroidal fields everywhere around us.
Mm-hmm. So you're seeing right.
I mean, look at that, guys. That's Venus. It just looks like a few miles away there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's how, you know, what you should be asking yourself in that image. How are chemtrails highlighting Venus and its path when it's supposed to be how many miles away?
I don't even know, but very far in outer space.
Yeah, X amount of miles away in outer space somewhere. I don't think so. That's just over there, guys. Our chemtrails are highlighting its path and Venus like that, then it's not that far away, really, is it?
That's right. All is atom. Which is atom. Which is Adam. Which is the first. Santos is brilliant, so his link should pop up from the bot.
Not often we get to have chats like this, is it? Live stream chats.
Yeah, no. It was just sporadic too. And I forced FPV to get on.
She's the slave driver, see, not me.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there is other people's halos.
Yeah, very special. You see these halos, guys, record them and send them us. We'll get them added to videos that we release because they're very special.
Yeah.
Like some dogs. Liars.
Yep. And I've caught 2 really good ones.
You get them all the time.
I know. But
Dog Central.
I think it's the way they chemtrail around here, because
Yeah.
they'll do it and they'll get real thin and wispy, and that's when the halo really appears.
Yeah, if you capture them, keep sending us them, guys.
Hmm.
Videos are better, but you know, you can only get an image is fine.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to see them. These are what Enoch described as chariots. These were chariots referenced by Enoch. Or Ptolemy's epicycles.
Yeah.
We call them halos, don't we?
Yep. But that's how they're depicted in pictures and ancient pictures.
Yeah. A lot of these cities, you know, St. Petersburg, that tells me there's probably something below there very special. These saint places.
Yeah. But it's just like the old pictures, the head in the middle with the big circle going around their head, or the pictures of Jesus, right? They all look like that. They have like this light illuminating around their head.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
Out here in
usually
the
a halo
pumpkin patch,
depicted behind them, isn't
sure
there?
enough,
Yeah.
there's
I've
a
got quite a lot of
halo.
images from scripture showing
1
those.
second, baby.
Some people say, oh, it doesn't
There's
mention
the
halos
top
in the
of it.
Bible.
The
Well,
note on
as
the
above, so below
side.
is pertaining to this. So the reference is there, and I think the reference is probably going to it a lot more, but they'll be in the Bible books that are missing.
Yes.
I can't remember how many books are
Okay,
missing now
1
from the
second, I'm
Bible,
getting
but
the
there's a lot.
sun.
Yeah, there is. I don't know how many either.
I'd like
Jason
to get
might.
my hands. I would have liked to get my hands on them so I could read them myself.
Very, very cool.
Another reference we can use is Mauro Buglino, the ex-Vatican translator. He's recently come out and said the angels are robots.
Why we can see it.
That falls straight in line with our research because that's what we're looking at, technologies. That's another confirmation for us when someone from the Vatican comes out with information like that.
Yeah. Yep. So 74 books.
74? No
Well,
way.
that's what Organic Apple said with a question mark.
Wow.
I know there's a lot.
We're just left with 10 pages then. No one's learning anything.
We just got all the shit that says God's going to kill us if we don't obey. That's all they left for us is obey.
Very interesting. Not saying that, even what's left in there, you know, when we look through it with the cherubims, some good references there, and the seraphims as well. Fiery ones. You can see why they're fiery, can't you?
Yeah.
Because it's part of the creation process. The element to matter conversion of the technology. Yeah, Catholic Church has done a mind job on everyone, it seems. Oh, I'd like to go and have a read of what they've got in the vaults down at the Vatican.
I don't know, Stephen, how we let this happen. I really don't. I've thought about that myself. How the hell did we get in the position that we're in?
It's their way to hide it. One, you know, the globalists are in panic mode. They don't want people to find out flat Earth and all that entails, because what it entails is what our research is revealing. We're revealing what they've hid. They don't want to find it because they're accountable for this, remember? So your chemtrails, your vaccines, your GMOs, the mass immigration, all the bad politics, it's all to try and hide this. How far will they go to hide this, people? That's what you've got to ask yourself. I think 5G is the next step. They're going to microwave you. So everything else isn't quick enough.
Yeah.
They'll just let the planes come and bomb us. What's the difference?
Right, because we couldn't be good slaves.
Yeah. It's too late for them, you know. Flat Earth, it's revealing all their lies. These actors in space, what a piss take. They're a disgrace to humanity, they really are.
Yeah, they don't even try to really hide things anymore.
They've We've got a $10 budget. So where's the rest of the money going, guys? It's going in the underworld. Remember, what they're trying to hide? They're trying to hide all this. So what I think they're doing in the underworld is rebadging it all, because I think in the future they're going to lie to the world that they built all this. You guarantee there's going to be some big catastrophe. Then they'll say, "Oh, our planet got thrown out of space somewhere and we lost our sun." So, but they're going to create a new one. Well, sorry, but it's already here. It already works. It's already projecting. The technology already exists. They're going to steal it and lie that they created it. Is what I think they're really doing. You know, you rebadge it all and say, rebadge it all as NASA's bad logos. No, we made this. That's what they're going to lie.
Well, didn't they already do that back in the day, in the Egyptian times?
Well, that's the only outcome. That's the only outcome I can see was going to happen.
They called themselves gods. They tried to, I mean, but people still fought back, and that's when the slaughters began. Really bad.
Yeah.
People were like, "You're not gods. Who the fleck do you think you are?"
They want you to make the monkey on a spinning ball when they really know what's going on. And playing the technologies like kids with a new toy.
Yeah. I mean, they already say they invented all this stuff we have anyway, and really it's just recreations. And then they call this kind of stuff New Age. Earth energy is New Age. It's not, it's Old Age.
New Age.
The books are New Age. You know, that's the Bible's the newest age.
Yeah, the Bible's the New Age book.
And I'm not bashing the Bible. I'm not. I've read it and I've decoded it with FPV, but that's the newest book there is. In all the books.
That's a New Age book of old information.
Yeah.
Doctored down for apes, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to find, guys, these characters in Scripture are not people. Most of them people in Scriptures are nothing to do with humans. The technologies it's talking about. Technologies and their functions and their roles. You look at the Egyptian hieroglyphs, it's telling you the same thing. 12 Gates video being a perfect example of what's going on. You know, you look at them depictions, they don't make a lot of sense to people until you start decoding them and putting them towards a technological perspective of what they're telling you, and that's when you see it. 12 Gates is a fantastic decoding of it, isn't it? One. The sun's return path in the underworld. You know, how can the sun return in the underworld? Well, clearly, because the projection's been switched off, it's got a cleaning cycle to go through. Then it starts to rejuvenate its energy. In other words, create some new radioactive material, charge it up a bit, and send it back over to the east to start again. That's what's going on. Every day. Forever and ever until man breaks it. That's what you're looking at. Just looking at chat about Fortnite bot stuff.
But no, I agree. Anyone who has changed any of these scriptures for their own, gain or whatever, they'll have to deal with their karma in the end. Everyone has to, face their creator.
There's something we probably should talk about, the dome. There's a lot of people ask me about the dome. Now, our research hasn't found anything we can say, yes, there's a dome. So we don't really discuss it a lot. We do see lots and lots of references to the firmament. And I've even seen a letter from like an envoy to his king who was visiting some place where he was looking at part of the firmament where the repairs had been done. This was a letter from around about the 1600s, a guy writing to his own king. A personal letter to the king, and I forget which country it was, either Spain or France or one of them. And he was, describing repairs done to the firmament. So it's suggesting there's structure out there somewhere that, we've yet to see. We're not ruling out there is more to see. We're just, we can't say there is a dome because we don't know what's beyond what we're looking at. We can't say, point a finger at it and say, yes, that's a dome. Now, if you look at the configuration in 3D, we use of these, our grid, these 6 halos, there's 6 large halos on our grid. I've put them into a dome-shaped kind of image, kind of projection, because it's the only one that makes sense, really. So remember, the sun's rising in the east and setting in the west. And I think now, if you look at our 12 gates video or our 24-hour sun path video, you will see how we've put the sun climbing up the side of them. It gets to the top, then goes across, then starts coming down the other side. So, this is going on before it comes to us and after it's left us. So it's not going to be noticeable as much that it's doing it, because our perspective and vantage point it's gone before it's even done all that. We're only seeing a small part of this realm, really. We look at our grid, it's 12 by 12, and out of that 12 by 12 grid, the 8 by 8, we're probably restricted to. Hold on, can you make the image a bit bigger one?
Uh-huh.
Then we can see what part of the grid, how many squares of the grid we're actually restricted to.
This one? Oh, this one. Sorry.
Yeah, ours.
Wrong one. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, that one. Now, if you look in the east, guys, the sun's coming from those gates in the east. So now look at the big halos, 6 big halos that cover the map. Now in 3D, the larger outer one's the lowest one, and the smaller center one's the highest altitude one. So it climbs up roughly the inside of these, goes across the top, and then comes down slowly towards the ones in the west. Then it'll either go into the underworld and return back to the east, or it'll return, do the 24-hour cycle going around the north to come back round, following these halos. So a lot of information overload for people that haven't seen this before, but definitely check our videos out, because it's the only stuff that makes sense to us. We've looked at a hell of a lot of things in our research over the months, and this is our conclusions. And it's a very good reason why they would hide it, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, one done a good video on Nibiru,
Oh,
or
yeah.
Planet X, as some people call it.
Yeah. Yep.
That turns up on our grid.
Yep. At first, I did a video and I kind of looked at it like a signal, a very strong signal that, maybe could change things. We don't know. It might have did some crazy damage before, but then we did some more research and we kind of placed it as a seraphim by looking back at, holy cow, what text was it? I can't remember which cosmetology I was looking at. They called it a post, a turning post, which would be a stationary luminary, right? Seraphim. Yeah, I do. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I was just sending you another image in the back chat.
Oh, awesome. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, he says anyone hasn't seen that one yet. They probably have, but some of them might not have. Invoke the Nazca lines.
Yeah, they're always
There's a
good.
lot of stuff we can fall back on here and, look, use as reference and overlays. There's that many overlays. There's too many overlays, isn't there? It'd make a mess trying to show you them all at once.
Yeah. We couldn't put... I don't see how we could put all of them on there. It's pretty complex.
This image here, guys, this is the Nazca line overlay created to show you how that relates to the grid and the realm. You can see now how the Nazca lines play a part in this. They're badly aligned on there, actually, but they're not far off, some of them. That was older work, but you can see what it was doing and how it plays a part in different parts of this. I'll have to send you a more updated version of that one, Mom. The one in the 12 Gates video where he overlaid them over the Mimic, that one's just about perfect.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Nazca line overlay. Now, a lot of people haven't even seen the Nazca lines in their entirety. They've seen a few images and glyphs and a couple of lines, and oh, that's nice, and they thought nothing of it. And in fact, when you see them all in their entirety, it's amazing. It really is. You realise it's all one big picture. It's the blueprints.
Yep. It shows us how the energy flows, which direction, what kind of a frequency is it, and then we can see from our world how it affects it when it flows in that direction and what happens. And all of that is causing our volcanoes and lava.
Them guys in chat will make me hungry. Talk about pizzas and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And the lava is the waste of all of these systems and everything that's happening.
And it has to be made safe before released into the wild as well. Used up like the sun's waste. I think the moon gets it because, scripturally speaking, or Enoch was it? The sun gives its light to the moon. Well, light's not something you can normally give, really, is it? So it's given the moon something. The moon could very well be getting the sun's radioactive waste, and it's using it up a bit more.
Hand-me-downs.
Yeah, and when it burns it all off, it probably has a 3-day rest and it comes back again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then its waste could be given to Mars, Jupiter, Venus. It could go on and on. We don't know. We're guessing on that part, but yeah, it's. I don't think there's no such thing as waste, is there? When you think about it, there's no waste on flat Earth. That's for sure.
No.
Anything that's injected into the realm becomes sand or landmass.
Yep. Yep, it's all recycled.
And if it's not down there being recycled, it's up in the sky glowing as a projection.
How did the Nazca lines last for so long?
Because of the location. It's a very dry and arid place, Peru, where the lines are. So it seems someone really done the homework on where to put them. They put them in probably the best place you could put them in the world for them to last. Now, they're not there in their complete entirety anymore because they've been hiding them, farming over them, sabotage, you name it. They've gone out of their way really to try and mask what they are and that they're all one part of one big thing. They say different tribes have done it and this, that, and the other. But no, no way. These were Devon Light mandated it with sticks. You know, there's a geoglyph there 5 mile long. And it's an antenna. You show me a guy that can do a 5 mile antenna with a stick, so accurate, impossible. Going over mountains, over the top of mountains and all kinds. In fact, some of the mountains have had the tops chopped off and leveled, put lines on them. You know, this was done by giants. You know, or titans had to have a hand in what's in this creation, and they are, you know, giants are referenced in scripture. Although, you know, the Smithsonian's taken all the bones away and they come back with a dinosaur. They're not dinosaurs. These bones that they're taking away are giants' bones. And they're going to invent a dinosaur with any bones people are finding. Oh, it was this you found. Look, it's a T-Rex. Bullshit. You look at any of the petrified species that's been turned to rock, you will not find any dinosaurs, but you will find male, female, giants, titans, even dragons. But there's no dinosaurs. Dinosaurs did not and have not ever existed.
Right.
Yeah, you know, this is an easy way to capture an old lion, isn't it, Ollie?
I haven't heard they Organic asked about Mount Shasta erupting. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that.
Mountain.
I looked it up to see if it had, and it's all I can see is the last time it erupted was 1786. That doesn't mean it hasn't. I haven't heard anything about it. Go ahead and keep talking for a second. I'll be right back, okay? I'll put my pesky dog out real fast.
Okie dokie. Yep. I was going to say she's going to bed now. Forced to go and read the fridge. Go get yourself a pizza, Sandra. I'll fancy a pizza now while I'm guys in chat talking about pizzas. Yeah, I think that's what's going on. You know, the people are finding giants' bones. They're taking them away and inventing dinosaurs out of them and bringing a plastic model back from China or somewhere and saying, "Yeah, this is what you found." I think that's what's been going on. And reality, the Smithsonian are taking them away. And those guys are really making me hungry. Yeah, fake dinos. Oh, giants definitely existed. They had to. You know, you look at Jimbo's work and Mud Fossil University's work. They're everywhere. You know, there's dragons. Look at Mud Fossils University. The dragon he found in North Africa. It's huge. It's still there. It's rotting away on the landscape, basically. But look at it. You know, that is a dragon. Can't be anything but a dragon. And there's not just one. There's a few of them knocking about.
I'm back.
Thanks, Sandra. We'll catch up later, lass. Hold on, I'm going to trout her. Hold on.
I think she heard you.
Wasn't me.
But yeah, it's good stuff, and it's crazy to learn all this stuff too. Really, it is.
Can you imagine learning all this at school? Ooh, you'd have paid attention then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the dropout rate would probably be like 0%.
Want to come back and stay there longer?
Right. Right. Yeah. So, and the real lines look like these lines. You know, whenever I'm outlining them, there's a lot of similar shapes. I mean, I won't get them all because there's parts that are further out than the globe shows.
Yeah.
You know.
I know we've covered a lot now, haven't we? Line work. The line work you're doing on the seabed, the ocean floor. It's more than that lines can show because they're just a condensed version of what you're playing with.
Yeah, they're just a basic blueprint. Like, this is the basics of it. This is how the frequencies flow. This is what they are. This is, you know, this is the direction they take. These are the main paths. This is the outline of it all. It's very interesting. I think it's amazing that you figured it out. So many theories.
I know, it's been a long haul, isn't it, trying to get it out there. I mean, it was sometime last year, I can't remember what month it was, when the first video went out. Yeah, it's just progressed and progressed, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it's been
Like
going
we
on
say,
a year,
guys,
close to.
we talk and discuss a lot of things in private that'll never get seen or shown ever.
Well, yeah, like you
But
said, we don't want to.
most of it is to try and make this work.
Yep. Because if things don't work, then we figure it out before we go and talk about it on a live stream. You know? And then look stupid because people are debunking us right and left. That's not happening.
No, they wouldn't even touch it. They might make fun of it or something, but they expect imbeciles to do that when they don't understand what they're looking at. In fact, they don't even really do that. I'm pretty sure now a lot of these trolls are looking at it themselves thinking, wow, what the hell is going on here? They must, if, most people out there, when they look at flat earth, they realize straight away it's not a globe. It doesn't take you long to convert to being a flat earther. But these trolls that are trying to push the globe, they must be thinking twice when they look at our work or even other people's work, They must be. They must be saying, they know they're lying. That's why I ban them on site. I don't like liars. They've had the day. It was their day doesn't work. AMG. We don't have to cover that again, do we? Yeah, I think it's been well covered. I know, they're making me hungry, them lot. Every time we start talking, then pizza sales go up. Yeah, shout out to you guys in chat. It was nice to have a chat with you and have a laugh in the chat box there. Enjoy and explain how research it goes. Whether you follow it or not or understand, it's pretty irrelevant, really, as long as you get to see it and you see what we're doing, and hopefully it does make a bit of sense, guys. Nothing else does out there, does it? That's why I started doing my own research, because I couldn't make sense of what other people were doing.
Yeah, me too. So.
But yeah, over to you, one.
Oh, well, that's it. I just wanted to thank everybody for coming in and listening to us and stuff. We'll try to do it again sometime, either here or FPV's chat room. Trout you back.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. So tell everybody to have a good evening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll catch up again another time, no doubt. See you in the chats.
Yep. Bye-bye.